Hello family, welcome back to my channel. This is a channel where we travel around the world through our stomach. I want to thank all my subscribers for your constant love and support. I really appreciate you guys. And if you're new to my channel or this is the first time you're coming across this channel, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so whenever I upload a video you will be notified. So guys, I'm taking you again today to Guinea in West Africa. Yes guys, and this time around I'm taking you right into the beautiful mountains of Fouta Djallon. Fouta Djallon has got a history. I'm going to talk about the history a little bit. This is where my parents are originally from. I'm so proud of where my parents are from. Although I was born in Sierra Leone, I grew up in Sierra Leone, I don't really know Guinea that much. I've only been there a couple of times. But yes, I'm proud of where my parents are from and I love the food, guys. So I'm going to be showcasing one of the famous Fulani dish, which is known as Tori. It's called Tori in Fula, but it's basically dry cassava powder. So this is a dry cassava. It's been turned into powder and I'll be cooking this with dry okra. This is my dry okra. So I've wanted to cook this dish for so long, guys, but I didn't have any dry okra. So I had to order this okra from London and it just came in yesterday. I ordered a couple of these. So I'm so excited, guys. I love this dish. It's one of my favorite dish when I go to Guinea or even in Sierra Leone. I used to cook it a lot. I love it. I love Tori and okra. We call, I think, okra. Normally they say Tori and Ndama. Ndama is like any kind of slimy kind of thing, you know, like it's they have a special kind of slimy thing that they use, or some people use okra, but for me I don't have the other one, the one they call Ndama. So I'm using okra, but it's just the same because it just gives it that sliminess. So let me stop blabbing and get into the video. So if you're interested to see how I cook my Tori and okra, please stay tuned.
Let me just show you quickly what I'll be using to cook my okra soup. I've got some peppers there, Maggi cubes, fresh tomatoes and 2 onions. I've also got here some leftover goat meat which is already being cooked, and some shrimps and crabs. So guys, this is optional. The only main ingredient we need here when it comes to cooking, when it comes to protein, is some powdered fish. But if you're someone like me who like to add extra protein, then you can add any protein of your choice. So this is the powdered fish. It's a mixture of tilapia, dry tilapia, and bonga. So that's what I'll be using. And I've got some peanut butter, and I also have salt just in case if I need it. And this is the dry cassava. As you can see, it's already in a powdered form, but we're just gonna cook it the same way that we cook fufu or like pounded yam. It's just the same method that I'll be using to cook this dry cassava. And this is my dry okra that I'll be using to cook my okra soup. I got this from London. And basically these are all the ingredients that I need to cook my okra soup. So I'm just going to roughly chop my onions, tomatoes, and blend them. I like to leave half of the onion so that I can just slice it and put it into the pot. That is just my own way of cooking it, but normally, as far as I know, the Fulanis, they like to blend everything together. I'm going to add about 2 fresh tomatoes, but this is optional, guys. I just like to add a little bit of fresh tomato to my soup. You can leave that out if you want. If you've been following me, you know I love spicy stuff. So I'm just going to add all of that peppers. And here I'm going to just chop my spring onion roughly and blend everything. So here I'm going to add some water and few spoons of peanut butter into the pot. Mix it well until it's smooth before cooking it. I like to add a lot of peanut butter, wherein some people like to add more okra than peanut butter. I'm just the opposite. So I'm going to cover it and leave it to cook for about 10 minutes before adding anything. Make sure when you're cooking it the first time, don't cover your pot completely, otherwise your peanut butter is going to kind of evaporate and will spill all over the place. So that's why I just cover it halfway like that. So after 10 minutes, this is how our peanut butter is looking like. I'm going to add all my blended ingredients and as well as my sliced onions, and I'm going to add my 2 Maggi cubes as well. Going to just mix it and leave it to cook for another 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, this is how our soup is looking like. I'm just going to add my fish powder, and I'm also going to add my goat meat, shrimps, and my crabs. At this point, I'm just going to cover it again to cook for about 3 minutes before adding my dry okra. So after 3 minutes, this is how it's looking. Normally in Guinea or the Fulanis, they've got a special wooden stick that they use to mix their okra. It's different from this wooden spoon, but because I don't have it, I will be using my wooden spoon. But because of that, I will have to add my okra bit by bit so that it don't get any lumpy. That is just what I'm doing, and I'm going to mix it straight away to avoid the okra having any lumps, if you know what I mean. So that's just what I'm doing there. So I'm going to leave this to cook for 2 minutes, and after that, guys, our okra soup should be ready. And here I've got my pot where I'll be cooking my Tori, my dry cassava. I'm just going to add some hot water into the pot. I've already boiled my water. If you don't have a kettle, you can just boil the water first in the pot and then reduce the water depending on the amount of cassava that you'll be cooking. So also they've got a special wooden stick that they will normally cook their dry cassava with, but I don't have that one, so I'll be using my wooden spoon as well to cook my dry cassava. So I like to add a little bit of salt to my hot water before adding my cassava powder. So at this point, I'm going to use this kind of whisk thing. I don't know how you call it, this thing. So I'll be using it to mix my dry cassava. So I also went ahead and sieved my cassava powder. Make sure you always sieve it before cooking it. So at this point, I will be adding bit by bit so that it don't get lumpy. And I'm going to just add a little bit of water. Make sure you add the water bit by bit until you get your desired texture. So at this point, I'm just going to keep on mixing until everything is cooked. So I'll be mixing it like this to make sure there is no lump in it and that everything is properly mixed, and then I will use my wooden spoon afterwards. So I'm going to leave it to cook just for 2 minutes before, and that will be done. So I'm just dishing my soup. As you can see, my soup is not very slimy because I didn't put a lot of okra. I like more peanut than okra. So if you're someone else who don't like slimy stuff, I would advise you to just keep the okra and just cook your peanut butter soup. You can still eat that with your cassava. So normally back home, this is how we do it. We cook and we dish the soup in a big bowl. So here is my dry cassava / Tori. This is how it's looking. It's just because the color is different because it's dry cassava. So normally that's how it looks. So I'm just going to dish my soup into that bowl before adding my dry cassava. Normally back home, we will dish the soup in a very big bowl and add the dry cassava, and we will all wash our hands and eat in the same bowl. I miss that so much, but because I'm going to be eating this alone, I just have a small bowl. I'm going to put my soup and then add my dry cassava to the soup. So normally you have to put the soup first into the bowl before adding the dry cassava. So I'll be adding about 4 because I think I'll finish 4. So yes, so this is how it's looking. It's looking so good and it's yummy, guys, trust me. Yeah, so look at it, guys. It's looking so delicious, so nice, so yummy. So this is our end product, dry cassava / Tori. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I see you in my next video. Bye.